Hello you metal pilgrims and welcome to the new interview episode on the show with our today's guest Titan Fox of the German power metal band Hammerschlag to speak about the band's latest self-titled release, the future of metal, and much more. As always, please do not hesitate to comment on anything you hear or see in the video, and I personally would love to see you back on the channel for more exclusive rock and metal content. But for now, buckle up and enjoy it. Here you go. Hey Titan, how's it going, man?
Yeah, very good, very good. I mean, it's a very special time at the moment. This is the release of our first album with Napalm Records.
Yeah.
I'm doing a lot of interviews, which is fantastic.
It's great.
The more, the better, actually. Where do you come from?
I'm from Ukraine, Kyiv, Ukraine.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Very good. That's my first one for the Ukraine.
Oh, nice. Yeah, especially in English, right? Although most of the subscriber base for the channel and overall our show is in the United States, but yeah, I come from Ukraine and I take pride of that. So
yeah,
whenever you have a chance, please make sure you come to Kyiv, man.
Yeah, damn it, I would love to. Absolutely.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Especially because you guys, Hammerschlag just released your self-titled album, the fourth one, right? You started talking about that on June 11th. And it seems like it was received extremely well by all of the fans, both old and new. So, Titan, could you talk just a little bit about the creative process behind it? How did all of this form into this one piece? And when did you actually start working on it?
I mean, the legend says that all music and lyrics are given by Thy Majesty the Hammer King.
Yep.
Which, of course, means we don't do anything. We just sit on the beach and wait until the songs are ready, until we hear the crack of the whip, and then we have to serve the Majesty. The truth is out there, actually. I mean, we are the kind of a band which normally, if not Corona, is putting some stones in our way. We are working in the rehearsal room all the time. Mm-hmm. We have rehearsals at least twice a week, and we are the kind of band that can play every time because we're always prepared, and we also always are arranging, writing, recording, whatever with new songs. Mm-hmm. So we of course we were writing new songs in 2019, mm-hmm. I think.
Wow.
And we finished all the songs on the album in February 2021 or March, mm-hmm. I can't remember. Maybe even April, somewhere around that. And we had booked the Studio Grey Wolf from Charles from Powerwolf for, I think, April and May, I think. And that was around the time when this Corona thing started.
Yeah.
So first of all, the music had been finished before that, and we had booked the studio. And in Germany, it's the way, if you're a company, if your band is a company, you're allowed to work. If your band is a hobby, you're not allowed to do anything. So gladly, we are a company and we were allowed to do that. So we entered the studio in April or May, and I think we worked there for 5 weeks, roughly. Mm-hmm. And Charles has a new studio. He built a new place, and mm-hmm. Studio Grey Wolf has moved. And we liked the old one a lot. Mm-hmm. But the new studio sounds so much better compared mm-hmm. to the old one. The room is fantastic, and therefore Dolph on the drums performed at a pretty much higher level than before because of the sound of the room, and the same happened to me with the vocals. Usually when you go to the studio, recording vocals is pretty much like, will I be able to nail all these high notes within 5 days or so? And this time, the first thing we recorded, I think, was the chorus of King of Kings, mm-hmm. and I started singing, and the room sounded like a cathedral. It was so large, I was singing like free, like a maniac. And Charles interrupted me and said, "Sorry, I have to change all the settings. You're at least double as loud as on the first 3 albums." I said, "Okay, it must be the room." And yeah, it really worked very well. And gladly it seems, as you said, that this spirit that we had recording the album seems exactly to be mirrored with all the people, because mm-hmm. I mean, of course, Metal Hammer Germany is a very critical magazine. Absolutely, they are hard to conquer, but all the others are really like this, and mm-hmm. yeah, the response is fantastic. So I'm absolutely happy with it. Yeah,
absolutely, man. I have no idea whether it was the room or not, but definitely it was a huge step up for you guys. I mean, I honestly really enjoyed the album. I'll be honest with you, I haven't heard the previous ones before listening to this one.
But that's very good.
But yeah, but those are great albums. But this one is definitely on this next level for me personally.
The interesting thing is we had a small internal release party last Friday where we got together and had a live stream in Facebook. And for the first time, we played all our songs through this Alexa thing of the computer. And that was the first time for me to hear the songs mixed up. And as you said, it was so strange. I know the old albums and I like them a lot. But every time a song from the Hammer King album came, I said, whoa, damn it, it really sounds much better than the old ones. The vocals are better, the drums are better, the songs are better, the production is better. Whatever it was, I hope it will happen again because it was fantastic.
No, but that's great because the band has to move forward, right? Especially because you had a huge step up in terms of, in terms of the label also, right? And so, for those who don't know, although for Hammerkin it is the 4th studio album, it is the first studio album together with Napalm Records. So, how does working with a label like Napalm differ from what you did before?
In all the interviews, and I swear I will always do it, I've always said that Cruz del Sur were a fantastic label.
Yeah.
They were trustful and very friendly. And Enrico Lecchese, the boss of Cruz del Sur, is a true friend of ours. So it was fantastic. We were very happy. But I mean, we kind of knew that for our style of music, for our style of heavy metal, which is, of course, it has a mass appeal. It's not an underground music. It's popish in a way. It's commercial in a way.
It is commercial, yeah. And it's okay.
And I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So we always knew that in order to reach a bigger audience, we would have to be on a different label. And ever since we started, we had the feeling that we would like to be with Napalm Records because they seem to be exactly the company that runs music like ours. I mean, they have Hammerfall, they have Glory Hammer, and the War Kings, of course, and all the bands. And we said that this would be the perfect label for us. And one day we really had the contact, and they seemed to enjoy the music. And then that was perfect, actually. And for me, it was interesting when we started working with them. The first thing that they got us was a huge catalog of questions. We had to answer like maybe 60 questions or something. It was amazing. And the good thing is they are so systematic when they work. And I'm very impressed by that because I like it. And I always say, the more work you get from your label as a band, the better it is, because the more work around your band, the better it is for you, actually. Who does not want to work for his band?
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's the same with the promotion. I mean, I've been talking to many people now. I think I have done now more interviews for this album than for all the 3 albums together. And so I really like it. It's wonderful. I just thought this afternoon, whenever you're in contact with someone from a magazine from all around the world, in a way, you're in contact with the spirit of these countries. It's almost a little bit like traveling there, and it's fantastic, just in these days. Fantastic.
100%, man. And but this is okay for time being, for now, but we would love to see you live in Ukraine and, whenever you're able to travel. Hopefully that will happen soon.
I can't wait. I really want to. It must be unbelievable once you really can do that again. It will be 100% more than ever before.
I just traveled to the United States for the first time twice in the past month, and I was so happy to be just on a plane, going around the world, and it was just amazing, man.
I'm looking forward to it, and if we can, we will come. I mean, we want to play. That has been the dream ever. I mean, we don't write commercial songs to not play them.
Exactly. What's the point? All right, man. Coming back to the album, though, what are some of the lyrical lines, which are running through it? I mean, is there an overall theme behind it that the Hammer King sent you, or not?
Yeah. I mean, all of our albums, none of our albums have been concept albums, but all of them have been like a collection of songs or of stories to one topic. The first one was about the kingdom, about the people that live there and work there and suffer there. And the second one was all about the war stories, while the third one was the sailing stories. This time when we started working on the songs, and we always sort of improvise the lyrics when we do the new songs. And when I looked at it, I said, strangely, all the songs seem to be very much about the person of the Hammer King this time. And then we thought, okay, this will be the point in time where we put the Hammer King on the cover of the album, which we have not done before. And for the first time, we did an album with Napalm, so they thought this might be an album where many people get in contact or realize that Hammer King is an active band for the first time. I mean, you heard this album, and then you notice that we've got 3 other albums, which will happen to many people. So we said, this is the moment where we say, look, this is Hammer King, this is what we sound. And on the other side, the lyrical content was already there. So we had all the songs about the king. So we said, okay, this is the moment to do what we never thought we would do, just name an album after the band.
Okay, makes sense, man, makes sense. And speaking about, putting your music in front of new audiences, is there one track from this record which you think, you would recommend to a person who never heard Hammer King before? Just one standout one.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's changing back and forth in a way. But at first I would have said Hammerschlag. But then, of course, Hammerschlag has got Gareth from Tankard and has got Isaac and the Crusader on it. So it's not typical only us, it's more people. So if I really were to choose just one track at the moment, I would probably say, listen to Awaken the Thunder. This might be the song which is symbolic for us. And for the first time ever, we have lyrics that live inside the kingdom, but really make sense for the outside world, for the real world. And this is something that I would like to do for the next album, that I always write stories that make sense, that happen within the kingdom, but that really symbolize things going out in the real world.
Yeah, that makes sense, and I have to agree with you about this track. This was my personal favorite one from the record, at least at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, for me too. I mean, it's changing back and forth, but at the moment, what I really like is that the riffing is quite brutal and a bit more modern. The vocals for the verse are modern. The bridge is totally classic, and the chorus is pop music in a way. So this is fantastic. All 3 styles.
That's fun, man. And what's the usual writing process for Hammer King? I mean, how do you guys divide responsibilities? Is it you responsible for most of the music, or you guys share this collective thinking kind of thing?
I mean, in a way, it's the longer we do it, the less important it seems who really does what. I mean, it's we have agreed that the best songs have to be on the album. The sooner the better, actually. So we are working at high speed. We usually go like this. Somebody has one idea, and we present it to the others. And of course, it's very, very crucial what the drums will do. It's always, the drums are, usually the people are sitting in the back and everybody does not see the drummer, but I cannot write a song without the drummer. It's so important. Whenever he hits the right beat, the song will explode. And if the beat is not perfect, then the song will not go anywhere. So usually we have a part of music and we wait what the drummer is doing. And when it really happens, when the song is happening, we will go as far as we can, which means sometimes it's only a small part. Sometimes it's up to the middle of the song before the solo and we stop. And we usually record everything, and then we don't listen to it for some weeks. And then when you replay it, you will probably say, wow, it's really fantastic. Or you sometimes say, well, it's not very interesting, and then you just leave it. And then you start working from that point again and add something, change something, bring some new parts in, throw some parts out, or leave it the way it is. And then after a while, you basically have like 80% of the song. And once you have this, you can start really getting into the details. And that's usually a thing that I like doing. When we're to the middle of the song, I decide what solo part could be interesting. Are we just taking the verse or bringing in a completely different part? Shall we have a quiet passage with a choir, or should we have a short one and bring it to the end? So that's something that I'm very, very effective with. And so that might basically the process. Somewhere in between all that, I will start singing somewhere. And usually when something good happens, you just keep it the way it is. And sometimes you have to really look for parts for weeks and months. But usually we're quick. And the quick ideas are mostly the best.
Yeah, I agree with you. And with the abundance of power metal bands, from around the world, and new music pouring in from, just around everywhere these days, right? We have all these streaming platforms and everything. Music is very accessible, right? What do you think makes Hammer King stand out? And why do you think your following is growing, at a quicker pace than that of many other bands?
I must say it's always very difficult for an artist to say that about himself, because basically you end up saying I'm great, and that's not very original. But I must say I think that probably our songwriting might just be better than that of the most bands. I mean, I must confess that when you listen to Powerwolf, for example, their songwriting is over the top. It's no. There's no question why these guys are so amazing, because the songs are so clever, and I mean, I can really see that. But I think that our songs are very, very much on the spot. You can get into the songs easily. You can remember them right away, and on the good side, most of the time you can listen to them for many times without getting bored.
That's true.
So I think the songs are very, very effective. We have. Also, we have this mass appeal, or this commercial appeal. We, on the other hand, never do anything for the sake of being commercial or catchy. When we think that it's not good enough, not intense enough, then we won't do it. So I think we're totally in the balance of this is catchy and effective, and this is good music. So that is something. I'm influenced by Pop Queen and Pop Genesis and Beach Boys, if you want. On the other hand, I'm listening to Cyrus Angol, or to Wishbone Ash, for example. Yeah. So you have the balance of the music, and you have the balance of the approachability of the songs. I think that's effective. And of course, the concept with the king and all this royal stuff, and on the other side, the brutal stuff, that works.
It's catchy, yeah. And when it comes to vocals on this record, man, and I gotta give you that, man. You show an impressive vocal range, man. I loved it. I enjoyed it. So, is there a routine you follow on how to keep your voice in great shape, or not really?
I just got asked this a couple of days ago and realized that I did not really know the answer. That I always say one of the most important things for me, might it be sports or singing, or practicing the guitar, if I think that I have to, I will pretty much avoid it and don't do anything, because I hate pressure and I hate to do something because I have to. So I think the key for me is just to have music in my car all the time and to sing along with that most of the time, which means sometimes on a day I'm singing for 2 minutes, sometimes for 3 minutes, sometimes I'm singing for 3 hours, whatever happens. And I'm trying to sing different stuff. At the moment, I've got Toto in my car and try to sing all this whatever this music is, pop, whatever they do. And I mean, they've got different vocalists ranging from low stuff to very high stuff. This 80s American rock music, the singers. And that's very interesting, because most of the things are very, very difficult, actually. And the best parts of the week, the best parts of my life, actually, are always when I come home and can say, "Ooh, I sang this song for the first time today, and it sounded like the version on the album, not like somebody trying it." So that's something that I'm really doing, or I'm practicing Paul Stanley stuff from Kiss, which is tricky, especially the 80s stuff is very tricky. Yeah. And there was one day after we shot the video of Hammerschlag where I sang for 5 hours that day. The next Sunday, I was driving in my car and singing all the 80s Kiss stuff. I could never do this before, and it never happened after that. So that's something that I do. I want to enjoy the music, and I want to go and sing all the stuff that I, as a fan, always wanted to do. Singing like Michael Kiske from Halloween or something. There is a lot of high notes that I still can't nail. But I mean, maybe I can nail them in a couple of years. I don't know. And that's something that I try to do. I try to really never stop singing for a longer time, but never pressure myself into singing for practicing reasons. A couple of years ago, I was doing some really warm-up exercises every day, and it was so boring that I stopped after a while. And that's not good. I mean, I want to enjoy it. And really, the best thing about singing is you have to listen and feel, is this healthy, what I do, or is it just my head pretending that I can? Because if you force yourself, you will pay the price. So that's something you really have to be very sensitive when you sing, and you have to hear yourself. That is what I learned in the studio this time. When the sound is amazing, you can sing for hours because you will not do anything unhealthy if you really can hear yourself. So that's the basic thing that I do.
Makes sense, man. Yeah. And I know it's kind of early to tell at this point, right? Everything is uncertain still, right? But are there any plans to support the album with the tour?
Yeah, I mean, of course. The good thing about Napalm Records is that they are partnered up with Napalm Events, which is a booking
you signed up with
agency.
them as well.
So that is fantastic. That was one of the biggest points about the situation with Napalm. And we should have had a release show on last Saturday, which was, of course, pushed back again. So at the moment, I think it's July the 15th and 16th, or 16th and 17th. No, 15th, 16th, I think. So it will be 2 nights of a release show because probably it will be limited capacity. So we said, if you can give us 2 days, we will play it twice. We have not played for a long time. The more often we can play, the better it is. And the good thing is you don't even have to change your setup. You can just remain in the club.
It's true.
So that would be something that will come up. There is a chance for a smallish open air in the southwest of Germany. There is a show in the Netherlands, and I think they will do it because they are different. They are a little bit more open, I think. And there is another one somewhere in around Cologne that seems to happen, I think. Yeah, so these are the next things. Then, of course, we signed with Napalm Events, and hopefully, I mean, the market will be extremely full in the next months because all the touring from 2020 and the touring from 21 will be happening at the same time.
It's going to be traffic on the road, man.
Well, yeah, I think so. And therefore, I mean, I can't really predict whenever there will be a slot for us and whatever happens. But I know that we definitely want, and we are prepared to do that. And so whatever it costs, I will go there.
All right, man, makes sense. I don't want to keep you here for too long, so just a couple of more questions, if you don't mind. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, and you started speaking about this already, partially, by saying what you sing along to in your car. But who are the biggest influences for you personally? Are there any bands which you can name as, the most influential on your musical writing process?
I think so. I mean, as a vocalist, it's Michael Kiske from Halloween. It's Eric Adams from Manowar, which are very different. And it's the Beach Boys in a way, because I learned these very, very soft high vocals from the Beach Boys, which are good to enhance your ability as a metal vocalist as well. If you can do it softly, you can do it properly as well. So these might be my influences. As a guitarist, I've been playing so long, after a while, you don't have an influence anymore. I mean, of course, there was Steve Stevens from Billy Idol's band, Steve Clark from Def Leppard, the guys in Wishbone Ash especially, for all the twin leads that we do. It's very much inspired by them. And I used to be the vocalist for Ross the Boss, so of course, Ross used to have an impact on me. And bizarrely, he is pretty close to my playing, although he's a real beast. I cannot do that, what he does. It's amazing. But he said to me once, you really seem to play a little bit like me. I said, yeah, in a way. I mean, I'm not you. I'm the vocalist. I also play the guitar. But I like this out of the pocket rock and roll playing. The dirtier, the better. Yeah, that's what I really like. I mean, he's fantastic.
And speaking about Ross, I spoke to him on the channel. What was that, like 6 months ago? He's a great guy. I mean, he's one of the funnest guys to talk to. Do you actually guys keep in touch?
Oh, lately we really were in touch again. I mean, we're talking on and off, usually more off than on. There is absolutely no bad blood, but I mean, there's been many years, and he's doing what he's doing, I'm doing what I'm doing. But lately, I think the Dictators released 2 single tracks.
Yeah, they're releasing an album.
Congratulated. They were fantastic. Yeah. And honestly, I think the biggest plus about the Dictators is that this Anthony Chernoff guy writes amazing songs. Mm-hmm. And whenever there's a good song and Ross plays on it, Ross sounds fantastic. And that was the perfect mix. So yeah, of course, there's always contact. And I think that we both would say that we love each other. So that's a very good thing.
100%, man. And I think, speaking about very briefly about Dictators, the new songs, they sound like the 70s. But at the same time, they are very modern. I enjoyed it. It's fun rock and roll.
Fantastic.
Yeah. All right, man. On this cheerful note, the last one for today, and this is something we usually do to close the episode, and I'd love to hear it from you. And you can name it from either Hammerschlag or, any other band you played at. What is your one craziest story from your touring life?
Ooh. Okay. I think it must be. It's not a Hammer King story, but it's a Ross the Boss story. Actually, we played the Gilman Fest in Venezuela. I think in 2011. Oh, I'm sorry. It must be 2011. I think. And it was a strange thing. We played in a baseball stadium, which was more or less sold out. And they had a security from people who looked like guerrillas or something with pump guns in their hands. And I remember I said to Matze, the drummer, I hope I'm singing well this night because I don't know what they will do if I don't. And we were traveling back in a small van, and at a certain point, the van was speeding up like hell. He was driving through the worst kind of road you can imagine, but he was traveling at full speed, and it was dark. And I said to Matze, the drummer, what the heck is this guy doing? And I was writing a message to my former girlfriend at that point of time. And Matze said, you know what's happening? I said, no. We're driving through an area where usually there are people attacking everyone who's crossing it by throwing stones and burning stuff onto the cars and the vans. And that's why he's speeding up so that this will not happen. I said to Matze, I'm not writing this now to my woman at home. So that was really, so that was intense. Nothing happened, all was fine. But it was strange. So, and other stories from South America, especially where most of the time everyone is having really problems on the toilet. And I remember being in Peru and in Ecuador, and everyone was suffering like hell. Even the Peruvian guy was suffering, and I didn't have anything. So that was fantastic. I don't know why.
You were tough, man.
Fantastic.
All right, man, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Any last message for the fans, both Oda and Neil, who are going to be watching you, man?
First of all, I thank you for the time, for the questions. It was a fun interview. And all interviews are great, but this was really fun.
Thank you.
And every support that we can have at the moment is really helpful and will help us building up the band, which we would like to do. So my shout out goes to everyone in the Ukraine and to everyone who's listening from all the countries in the world. Thanks for the support. I will try to take you by the word and come to the Ukraine and play shows there.
Let's do it.
I would love to. I'm totally ready for it. And we always finish everything by saying, God bless the King. May the King bless you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Titan, for your time again. It was a pleasure, man. Just as a reminder, Hammer King's self-titled album, the fourth one, is already out on June 11th via Napalm Records. If you haven't yet, make sure you pick it up and check it out. It's a really strong power metal album, and I'm sure all the power metal fans will enjoy it for sure. Titan, thank you so much.
And have a stop at our shop at hammer-king.com. There will be lots of exclusive articles coming up soon. We will have a statue or action figure of the Hammer King.
Nice.
There's exclusive coffee, and there's going to be cups and whatever you need.
Wow.
I don't need.
I'm going to go check it out right now, man. Thank you so much for your time, man. Keep rocking.
The same to you. Stay heavy. Bye-bye.
Thanks, man.